Hello and good morning friends, welcome to the CEC Edit live lecture. Dear friends, we are delighted to inform you that from today onwards, we are going to start a very new series, and this series is on graphics and print production, because this is the first lecture in this particular series, and today we are going to talk about concept of graphics and visual communication. And for this we have with us in our studios Professor N. Sarkar. Professor Sarkar is a former professor from Indian Institute of Mass Communication, as well as he is the author of the book Art and Print Production. I would like to tell you all, he was also a practicing graphic designer for more than 2 decades at various reputed organizations, advertising agencies and public private sector companies, as well as he acted as a visiting faculty examiner and consultant for designing, developing the curriculum at various professional institutions and universities. So dear friends, let's take advantages from his immense experience and try to understand what is the concept behind the graphics, as well as what is visual communication. So I would like to welcome our guest, Professor N. Sarkar. Professor Sarkar, welcome to the EDICET lecture. As the topic seems to be very interesting for all those students who are into the graphics and print production, I hope that this session is going to be one of the productive session, and student would be learning more and more through your experience. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Gitika. I have given a couple of lectures not in series but in isolation. I am glad that CEC has invited me to talk a series of lectures on the subject, and it will be helpful for the students to connect the subject very easily. Otherwise, what will happen, that if I give it in isolation, then next time when I speak, you may not be able to link it with that. So I am very glad that series of lectures I will be giving on this particular subject. So welcome viewers. So we are starting our lecture, the concept of graphics and visual communication. As you know, we are living in the world of visuals. All around we have visuals. When you open your eyes, you see all the pictures. These are nothing but the visuals. So that means, what do you mean by visual communication? The image that appeals to you or appeals to the viewers, that pleases, that you capture and goes through your eyes and you interact. That means eye, the object you see, and your mind, all those things work together to understand the visual communication. So image that's able to the human eyes, that reaches to us, as I have told you, and it should be the brain which will process to understand the visuals. So naturally, when the visuals are entering in your brain, and it will interpret it as per the viewer's ability to interpret and responds emotionally and physiologically. So there, what we have got it, the eye, the object and the brain work together to capture the image from the field of vision that isolate the object from others. See this, it's eye. I am showing this eye is visible on the screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Visible, no? The eye, the main thing in visual communication. So I have used this eye in a graphic shape. So I will explain to what do you mean by graphic shape. The eye is main component, and see this is my theme slide. That's why I have used the eye, and you can find the eye is having the lot of colors. What does it mean? That means when the image is entering in your brain through the eyes, the eye is capturing the colors from the field of vision. That's why I have prepared a graphic image of the eye, and all the colors is showing. It is not actually the eye, real eye, but it is a graphic image. It is a manipulated image. I will explain you how it is done. Then the field of vision. See, when you see naturally, you see so many things. Here you can see this field, but you might have seen so many other things also beyond your eyes, but this particular portion has captured and entered in your eyes, and you have processed it and you have seen it what it is. That is the field of vision. Then visual interpretation or the visual image and understanding of visual image or response to the visual image largely depend on individual geographical surroundings, ethnic complicities, education and frame of mind. So, just to explain it, I will illustrate it. Ethnic complicities, a group, say tribal group, they have got a particular level of understanding of visuals. The way we understand, the people who are living in the cities or highly educated, they may not understand that way. In some times back, or when I was in IMC, we had conducted a workshop in Northeast region for tribal groups to eradicate malaria. As you know, the malaria, the main enemy of malaria is the mosquito. So, we were supposed to educate the people of the group that how to prevent mosquito and how the mosquitoes are dangerous to your health, or which will be your source of malaria. So, for that reason, we had prepared a posters in which we have depicted a hand, big hand, on which a big size malaria was on that, which is sucking blood from the hand. And when he had gone to pre-testing among the target audience, some of the target audience says, "Oh, we have not seen such a big malaria in our locality." That means the visual understanding is not there. They could not understand that it is amplified just to educate them that this malaria, how it is creating problem for them, but they could not understand it. There is the things I want to tell you, that is called ethnic complicities. They will not understand it. They understand. So, this understanding is gradually improving, especially in cities and towns. Why? Because of new generation communication media such as film, television, internet, which has given us wide options of interpret and response to visual images, and now we are more visually literate. So, we can now interpret visuals much more effectively, because now we don't question it. I can give you another example. My grandfather was not literate. She was very devoted to religions. So, once she had asked me to draw a painting of Sri Krishna. So, I painted Sri Krishna with a blue colored faces, but I also wanted to show the reflection of light on the blue colors. As a result, some of the other colors are also showing the faces of the image. When she looked at the image, immediately she asked me, "Oh, is the Krishnji playing holy?" So, that is the understanding of the people of education. Here, education is playing a role. But today, the visuals you see in the new generation media like film, see the film posters. So, the big size posters, so many colors, unusual colors, red, green, blue, you don't question it whether it is real or not. You see the television, what type of images you see, that's moving from this place to this place and superimposing others, and you enjoy these pictures. And the internet, that internet has given option to so many people. So, now we can see the visuals that much more effectively as you used to understand earlier, and response to the visuals image, and you become more visually literate. Now, literacy is a very important thing. Literacy, what do you mean by literacy? You become literate when you read books, when you go to school, you understand history, culture, so many things by reading it. But what about the visual literacy? How can you be literate? You can read books, you can be literate. But when you are reading we are viewing the visuals, how we can be literate. So here is some of the points you should understand. So here I am showing this new generation media like television, as a film, then television, internet. This helps to understand the visuals much more effectively. Now coming back to the visual literacy. What do you mean visual literacy? So you should understand a visual language or communicate visually. That requires a mental skill. You will have to develop a mental skills as you have acquired mental skill to reading books and content of the books, content of the publication, content of the newspaper. Same with the case of visuals also. A certain mental skill is required to appreciate and criticize the visuals, and that's required, which is required the skill, and the skill called visual literacy. How it can be, you can be visually literate. Now, to understand visual, this I have. Now, basic things of become visual literate, it comes from one's involvement in the world of visuals. One involvement in the world of visuals. What do you mean by that? For example, all of you like paintings, but some of the paintings we don't understand. Why do we understand? Because we have not involved ourselves in the world of paintings. So if you once in your lifetime or once in your career, you visit exhibitions and you want to see, oh, I should understand all the paintings, which has been displayed. It is not possible, because this understanding will come only if you keep on looking at or viewing the pictures displayed frequently, judge them, interpret them, only then you will be able to understand. Take the examples of music. Many musics you listen, some of them you enjoy, some of them you don't enjoy. But musics are there. Some of the music, such as classical musics, many of us don't understand it. That's why we generally switch off the music when it is on. But popular musics like film song, etc., many of us enjoy. So to understand this, this audio language, it is required a certain mental skill, and you develop it over the period of times. Again, another example I can give you, that in a film, many times you have seen the heroine is roaming around the trees and singing, and maybe it is a riverside or maybe a beautiful garden, but the heroine is singing, along with the song there will be sound of tabla, sound of shanahai, sound of other things. Will you question it? Where is the shanahai in the spark? Or is the tabla in the riverside? But this is called visual literacy, because you know that this particular sounds has given emphasis or understanding of the visuals much more soothing to the ears. That is called audio literacy. Same with the case of visual literacy. You keep on looking at the visuals, like you see the pictures, cinema, television, internet, etc. You keep on watching it and you become visually literate. So to become visual literate, you should involve yourself on the world of visual. So that's why, how to become visual literate? More you involve, more you learn. As you read more, you learn more. The more you sense, then you can sense what is there in it. The more you sense, the more you select, then you have to power to select. Which one to read, which one to see, it is you to select. And more you select, the more you perceive. Naturally, you perceive what is there in the content. The more you perceive, the more you remember. Naturally, all these things to remember. And the more you remember, the more you learn. And that is, learning is coming from there. And the more you learn, and more you become literate. So this is the basic things of visual literacy. Otherwise, if you keep on only just like that, you will not be able to literate. Nowadays, the internet, the mobile, nowadays people are using mobile phone. Now they are all visual oriented. People become more and more visually literate. Now see this, people, they who are using it, they become so much, they are enjoying so much of each pictures, each content of the mobiles displayed on the screen. Now, I am coming slide to going further. Visual communication or visual form is an art. The word is art is familiar to all of us. All of us. If I ask you what is art, then perhaps you may feel it, but it is very difficult to explain what the art is. The meaning of art differs from person to person depending on one's circumstances. Naturally, if some of the visual images give pleasure to some people, some of the visuals may not. So that's why it is differ. But in broadly, if we explain art, then art is something which is the work of human activities, work of human activities. The art is a product of human creativity made with the intention to stimulate our senses. It provides us aesthetic pleasure and acts as source of information about everyday life, culture, history, etc. But in a broad sense, the art is something which is created by human being. That's why human creativity. The way you are talking, the way you are walking, the way you are writing, all this is a form of art. So any human creativity is an art, but some of the things would give pleasure to you, and that will be processed in your brain, and you accept it and you respond to it. But some of the things you may not process to your brain, and some of you will not like it, and you may not be entered in your mind, and it will not register in your mind. So in broad word, art is something which is human creativity. Now I can ask you one question. So what is not art then? Everything we are viewing, watching, listening are art, as I have explained it. But what is not art then? Perhaps you may be thinking, what will be the answer? The answer is generally, I find from the students, they don't give a proper answer to that. That's why I am explaining what is art. What is not art? Art is that one which is nature's created. Nature's created. The beautiful sky, beautiful sunrise, trees, plants, which have been created by nature. That is not an art. That is nature. So what is the opposite of art? Opposite of art is nature. So human being try to copy the natures, because always human being try to copy the natures, and that become art. That's why it is artificial. Artificial. But the art is, though artificial, but it gives pleasure to the human being. That's why that the art is made aesthetically pleasing. That human being will respond to that, and they will register mind, and they become more literate in art. I repeat, that art is something created by human being. It may be the way of talking, reading, listening, doing, everything is art. But the art is not the one which is created by nature. But human being always try to copy natures, which is always try to go near to the nature, and that become the art. I think it is clear to you. Now, as I told you, the visual communication is a form of an art. Now, art also, you will have to understand, I cannot explain art only one word. Art has a different stream of art. So that's why I have categorized them, different form of art. The categories of art. The art is one form of art is called fine art. What do you mean by fine art? Art, we have copied the natures, but some of the things beyond the natures we have created, something exclusive, something was not there earlier, you have created something. That is fine art, and that is so beautiful. That is fine art. Take an example of a painting. You can call it a fine art. Why it is so? Because it is exclusive. You feel pride having a painting of a great painter. Why it is so? Because it is exclusive. You are possessing the fine art, and you are feel proud of it. Now, take the example of the buildings. Some of the buildings are considered fine art. Take the example of Baha'i temple. Is it not beautiful building? Is it not exclusive? Do the people go there to see the temple and enjoy it? And it's become an important tourist spot in Delhi. So it is beautiful. That's why it is an fine art. It is a category of fine art. Now, take the example of painting. This is a category of fine art. And, sorry, I find another picture is missing. Okay. So, now if you compare these things with an ordinary building, then will you call it a fine art? Because building is not a fine art. Same with the case of some of the painting is fine art, some of the paintings are not fine art. Some of the musics are classical musics, or it is something will stand out from others. Same with the case of art form, visual form will stand out from others. I give you another examples. That some of the art form, they are fine art, but there is very difficult to draw a sharp line between the fine art and other form of art. Other form of art, next form of art is an applied art. Applied art. Art is applied form, applied for the purpose. Try to understand this one. There is a fine art, the applied art. The art is applied for purpose. Fabrics, ceramics, furnitures, house, etc. have gained certain value which has set them apart from fine art. Take the example of ceramics. It is a useful art, it is beautiful, but it is used for some purpose. Take the example of fabrics. It is used. You can use it for your dress materials, which will give you aesthetically pleasing look, and you are so choosy about looking at that fabrics for your dress materials. Why? Because it should look aesthetically pleasing. But that is not fine art. It is not exclusive. It is for some purpose. Same with the case of, say, building. A building meant for living. It is also art. See this beautifully, it has been designed, but we cannot call it a fine art. It is not exclusive. It is beautiful, but it is not exclusive. That's why it is not a fine art. It is a useful art. Art is used for some purpose. Now, I give you another examples. Take an example of a Persian carpet you have purchased, beautiful carpet, which has, what is the function of the carpet? To decorate the floor, and people will walk on that floor and people will appreciate it. But many times you find that people are walking on the carpets with their dirty shoes. Will you not feel bad in it? Will you feel happy that the carpet is being used such a way that you feel, oh, as because it is being used on the floor, that is why people not giving a proper importance to the carpet. They are just thinking that it is just meant for walking. But you have decided one day that, okay, I will give the prestige of the fine art to this carpet. What do? You just hang the carpet on the wall. That means you have given the prestige of fine art to the carpet, and people will come and appreciate it. So, what I want to say here, that when a beautiful design is used for purpose, then it become applied art. And if it is for exclusively meant for viewing, appreciating, aesthetically pleasing, then you become fine art. Same in the case of, I will give you another example. A calendar painted by a famous artist. That is definitely it is a fine art. Famous art is a fine art. And the person who is possessing this fine art, he or she feels pride in it, that he is having this beautiful painting in his drawing room or in his boardroom, whatever it may be. But one day he thought that this fine art should go to the public. In order to bring this image to the public, he published it in a form of calendar. Now, when it is published in the form of a calendar, that art form, it is no more exclusive. Earlier, when it was in your drawing room or your boardroom, it was exclusive. But now it has been reproduced, and reproduced in many copies, and it is going to the public. And many people will appreciate, but look of the image will remain the same, but this exclusivity is lost. As a result, you will not find the pride in it. Will you frame if you like to frame the calendar and display on your wall, and will you feel the same pride as it was in original form in the drawing room of the person who is possessing it? Naturally, you will not. So, you find the difference between fine and applied art. This subject is very vast, so I am not going to discuss much about these things. It is just giving a broad idea, the difference between the fine art and applied art, which is coming gradually to the visual communication. The fine art is an exclusive subject. Lot of things can be talked about fine art. So, we are not going to discuss much about these things. So, our basic concern is visual communication and ultimately graphics. Now, communication art. A fine art may communicate, a fine art may not communicate. What is meant by communication art? The art with message. Some of the fine art with message, but not so direct message. Some of the things you will have to interpret. You will find a caption is given with a fine art painting. On the basis of that, different people will interpret it a different way, and they will enjoy accordingly. The communication art we find in applied art. In the form of applied art, what are the communication art? Communication art, you will find it in your day-to-day work, like books, magazines, newspaper. When you are reading, are they not form of art? Will you pick up a book which is not aesthetically pleasing? Will you go through the pages when you find that is not so pleasing to read it, typographical arrangement is not so good? Naturally, a art form is applied to make the communication art pleasing to the viewers. So, that is also visuals. First of all, you see, then you interpret and process your brain, you understand it, you become literate. So, communication art is art that is giving the message. and also it should be optically stimulating. When you browsing through the magazine page, not all the page will be attractive. Some of the advertisement will attract you because it optically is so stimulating that you want to read it and you want to go to the content of it and you want to react to it. You want to respond to the advertisement. You want to purchase the product if it is for the benefit of the product or accept the viewpoint of the advertisers. So art form is everywhere, everywhere. Same with the case of when you are purchasing your dress materials, when you go to the market or the shopping mall, are you so choosy to select the design? Oh, will it suit it for me? Is it not an art form? But you are looking the art form not for displaying it on the wall, not as a fine art form. It is an useful art form. You dress yourselves because you should look pleasing. When you are talking to somebody, anyway, you should look pleasing. When you go for an interview, why don't you go for suited, booted or shalwar kameez with beautiful saris? It is because that you should be looking pleasing. That is an art form. So everywhere the art is there, but the art is different from different situations. Here the art is applied for some purpose, and here art is exclusively for viewing, enjoying and interpreting. So here is an example of communication art. I have used some of the pages of the magazines. So you see the beautiful designs of each page with visuals, typographical arrangement, all these things making so beautiful of each page of the magazines, which will be convenient to read it and pleasing to look at. If it is not pleasing to look at, you will not read it. Now I are coming to our subject, graphic art. Graphic art. Graphic art. Graphics is also a form of a visual communication. Now, how it is different from other form of art? Fine art, applied art, and communication art. Graphic art is a communication art. Graphic art is an applied art. Graphic art is also a fine art. But graphic, why it is a special term for graphic? Special term for graphic. Because all the images we see in communication is a form of a communication, definitely is a form of a communication. But all the form of visual images in communication are not graphics. You might have noticed that in television, film, magazines, if somebody's name is there as graphic artist, what is the person supposed to do in that particular communication materials, in the film, in television or internet? They are doing something and they are special. They are special. They got a training and experienced in design, graphic design. So if we explain the graphic, then it is simply, we can say, graphic is a form of visual communication in which images are manipulated to enhance the communication message. Try to understand this one. Graphic images are those images which are manipulated in communication to enhance the communication messages. That's why all the images we view, we read, are not graphics, but only the one which are manipulated, that are graphics. For example, we are watching a cricket match. Take the example of a cricket match, because I give this example often, because cricket is a religion in our country. Everybody will understand cricket. Cricket match, not long ago, we could not see this type of pictures. Whatever pictures is shown on television or telecast was a continuous flow of pictures, continuous flow of pictures. Suppose a person want to see the cricket match held in Delhi, in Calcutta, they will have to wait for the evening or the next day, because the direct telecast was not possible. Now it is possible, and also so many advancement has come to enhance the communication message. Take the example of these particular pictures. I am showing these pictures because when your favorite players going to open the bat, we always expect the player should score very good. If it is Tendulkar or Kohli, then we feel they should go for century. But many runners you will find they may be out within the first over or second over. And when this out is given only by LBW, then people have the doubt. How come our player cannot be given out because of LBW? Because LBW is always doubtful. The umpire must be wrong. That type of opinion we create. So this type of opinion is created by millions of viewers all over the country and even the world. Now the telecaster, the communicator has got the duty to convince the viewer to showing that image. Why this image? That how he was given out. See this image, that image I showed you just now, that LBW is showing, they are drawing the two parallel lines between the wickets. Then the Hawkeye is showing how the ball is hitting on the ground, and the leg is in front of the wicket, and it is straight away hitting the leg stamp. Now nobody will question it. Now everybody is convinced. Don't you think it is the work of graphic? Has it not enhanced the communication message, which was not there earlier? Now you are so convinced that is the work of graphics. Is it not the manipulation? Because it is originally on the field, there is no such that lines between the wickets, no Hawkeye. It is a plain ground. That's why it is a manipulation of graphics. Take the example of these pictures, that you find the viewers are cheering the cricket match. Now if I ask you, will you call it graphic? The very question is yes. Some of you will say, oh yes, but not. Why it is not graphics? Because nothing has been manipulated on these pictures. It is, as it has been telecast. That's why it is a continuous flow of pictures. But see this image. On this image, that Vyas channel has been, the logo of Vyas channel has been superimposed. That is the work of graphic. That is the manipulation. So understand between which is graphic, which is not. Now, see this image. Many of the while you are watching the cricket match, you will find the sponsored name is painted on the ground, and that painting is that sponsor name is painted on the ground in a very strategic position. What is the strategic position? The strategic position is that bowler will start running from that particular portion. As a result, the camera will go focus on that particular logo of the companies or the information you want to communicate. You know, this is a part of PR activities. All the organization who is sponsoring the cricket match, they want to gain something from the cricket match. They are not earning money by selling ticket, but they are getting that particular image from the cricket match. That image should be shown. Many times you will find around that cricket match there are display boards. These are all graphics. But in particular one, when it is shown on the television screen, will you call it a graphic? No, it is not. Because the television screen, television focus is on the image, it is as it is capturing the camera and it is telecasting on the screen. So, it is not the work of graphics. So, why I wanted to say all these things? Because you should understand the difference between graphics and other visual images. Then what is called this visual image? You called is a continuous flow of pictures. Not long ago, these pictures used to called analog pictures. Analog picture is a continuous flow of images coming to the television, but nowadays all the images are coming through digital form. It is a digital images. So, it is a digital continuous flow images. The graphic is not restricted to only moving media like television. Graphic is available in static media also, such as say this image. Show this this image. See, this is a photograph. The image is a photograph. It is a static pictures. Photograph is a static pictures. Its static pictures will not be called graphic unless it is manipulated. In this situation, the pictures is not manipulated, then you will call it a, in our terminology, is a graphic terminology, we call it is a continuous flow of pictures. As we have given the terminology for continuous flow of digital pictures, here is also continuous flow of pictures. It is not a continuous flow, it is a continuous tone of pictures. That is why it is a continuous tone image. What do you mean by continuous tone image? Continuous tone image is formed by different levels of tones. What do you mean by tone? Tone is a lightness and darkness of color. See the face of the girl, somehow it is fine is dark, somehow it is light. That giving the illusion of 3 dimension on that 2 dimensional surface. Your computer screen or a photographic image is a 2 dimensional surface. But you feel the 3 dimensional look, you perceive it as 3 dimension because of the different levels of tones. Somewhere it is light, somewhere it is dark. That is why it is continuous tone pictures. But what is a continuous tone picture? Captured by the camera and printed on a photographic paper, which is commonly known as bromide paper. It is called continuous tone pictures. But continuous tone pictures, if you want to publish, naturally you want to manipulate it. Take the example of, see the pictures again. Show the pictures again. Now, see these pictures, that the man standing at the left side, it is unnecessary for this particular pictures. The face, a part of the face is shown and which is disturbing the whole content. So, what has been done, that left side a bit and bottom side a bit cropped. After cropping, you get the image and you get this image, which is the image has enhanced the image without using the unnecessary portion of the image. That is the work of graphics. You manipulate. So, when you are working in some design, then you manipulate to enhance it. You get so many pictures to publish, to telecast, but not all the things you show it as it is. You want to manipulate. Why you manipulate? Because it should enhance the message. That is why it is manipulated. Hope it is understood. So, I have showed you 2 examples. One is static form of visuals, one is moving form of visuals. So, the visuals, the graphic images are not restricted to only static form or restricted to only visual forms as a moving form. So, it is available in all form. On the internet, as you see your games in the moving form, you are watching the games, it is all graphic image and you are enjoying it and you manipulate it, and the way you manipulate it and the game, there is some movement of car or ball or so many things you do, all this is the work of graphics, but it is a moving form of graphics, moving form of graphics. So, these are all the manipulation of visual images. Hope it is clear to you. See here another example of image manipulation. Image manipulation. Here I am showing you a page of magazines. These are all manipulated. How come it is manipulated? The pictures has been cropped, resized and inserted on the page. Typographical content has been manipulated because when you are typing that is also manipulation. All the letters are arranged in sequence. The same keyboard can prepare different type of words, different type of content, different type of size of images. Is it not a manipulation? All are manipulation. So when you are manipulating the letters, that is also manipulation of images. So here when you are preparing a magazine page and you are working for the graphics, the person who is working for the graphic design, he is a graphic designer who is the person who is the design and who manipulates the images and prepare a comprehensive layout for communication. Graphic is the okay. Graphic is the word which you use today very often for various communication purposes. But if you look at the history of graphics, it is so old. In fact, human beings started communicating their ideas through graphics. The first things they used to communicate by voice. The voice was formalized and became languages. The language, when they acquired the skill of communicating through language, then they started thinking how to record their ideas. That time there is no television, film, cameras. That time they used to live in the caves and mountains. The early man used to live in caves and mountains. So the making of graphics was possible for them using the tools and surfaces. What are the surfaces they had? They are the surfaces of caves where they used to live, the mountains they had to live. And what were the tools they had? They had the tools like bones. They used to eat meat. The leftover things are the bones. The bone they used to use as a tool to draw. So early paintings, early man's painting, we find it in caves and mountains, which are available to see how they used to draw and paint. Then man's quest for communication brought so many new tools gradually. After the use of bones, people have started using stones. The second type of tools they used to use. Stone was harder than bones. With the help of the stones, they used to make much more permanent image on the surfaces they used to find out around them. Then they invent another type of tool, that is iron. Iron is much more harder than stone. And when they started using iron, they used to curve the images on the surfaces they used to find. And the curved image is much more permanent than the images drawn and painted. If you go to the history books, you will find that images, especially if you go to Egypt, all the curved images are available. Even in our history also we find that Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, all these things are giving us all the beautiful images which were carved using the tools. Now, the use of tools has further improved, because as I told you, bad quest of communication, searching more and more new tools. That then they find out the tools like paint and brush. Then with the help of paint and brush, then also they could find out new surface of drawing the images, graphic images like leaves, metal plates, papers. They used to find out, and they used to draw and paint the images they could imagine, they could communicate. That was a further improvement of graphic communication. Today, we have the new tools. What is the new tool? The new tool is a computer. Today's graphic images are created on computer. In fact, the computer world is called the graphic industry. It's a graphic images. Why? Because on the computer screen you can manipulate the images the way you like it. Now the new tools you have got it, mouse, keyboard, all these are new tools on computers, and the surface is on computer screen. So if you go to the market to buy a computer, then you will find the booklet, all these things, or the shops will find graphic product. What is the graphic product now? It is the graphic product is now the images you create through the computer. Why not a computer is a graphic image? Every image you create is a manipulation. Every image you create is a manipulation. That's why the whole computer world is graphic world. So it is a new tool of communication. Now, what we have done it? We have seen the world of art. If would look at the diagram, look at this diagram. The outer circle of the diagram is the world of art. Within this world of art, we have taken some portion as visual art, because world of art not only visual art, it is any form of art like performing art, audio art, so many art forms there. But our concern is only visual art. So we have taken a portion of the world of art as a visual art. Now visual art is divided in two parts. One is fine art, one is applied art. And you can see some portion is overlapping, because not all art are fine art, not all art are visual art. Take an example, I have given you the example of Baha'i temple is in fine art, but some portion of the Baha'i temple is also applied art, because it is not only to viewing the Baha'i temple, but also the people go there for prayer. So it is also useful. That's why it is a fine art. Then I have given you the example of carpet. It is a fine art, it is an applied art, but some portion of the applied art is also an useful art. That's why it is overlapping. Fine art and applied art many times overlapping. Some are exclusive, some are not. Within this fine art and applied art, we have communication art like film, television, cricket match, newspaper, magazine, books, pamphlet, leaflets, all are communication art. Within this communication art, now we are coming to that. Our own subject is a graphics, which will be elaborating. It is a small portion, but when we are going to discuss, you will find so many things can be discussed on graphics. As I have told you, so many things discussed on fine art, so many things discussed on potteries, so many things discussed on furnitures, so many things can be discussed on buildings. Same with the case of we can discuss so many things on graphics. So we have narrowed down to our art form to graphics. So now you can see the whole world of art. Within this are the visual art. Within the visual art, we have got two categories of fine art and applied art. Then within this fine art and applied art, we have got communication art, and within this communication art, we have got art is a graphic art. Now, since we are going to elaborate our graphic art, then let us elaborate broadly first. There are three categories can be identified in graphic art. One of the categories may be the letter form or the component of graphics, letter form. Letter forms, what is the letters? The letters, the batches that are formed by letters of alphabet. So, earlier days the human being created the images, and this images written in sequence, and they used to communicate the message. This letter form is simplified gradually. This letter form is turned into lines and curves. These lines and curves converted into the letters. What are the letters? Letters are the symbols. What are the symbols? Symbols are, the meanings of the symbols is interpreted, and interpretation is common between the viewer and the communicator. When I write the letter A, you also understand the letter A, and I also understand letter A. So, it is a symbolic understanding. This symbolic understanding is gradually developed, and how we are using this symbolic understanding in our communication today, in our lectures, we will discuss all these details. Another category of art, another component of art is the pictures. Pictures are drawing, paintings, photograph, charts, graphs, etc. These are all pictures. These are also to be discussed in elaborate. In another lectures, I will discuss all these things in details and how it is different from the typography, and we will understand it. The last one is, of the graphic component, is the layout. What is the layout? Layout is a plan. Plan is necessary for any communication. You plan it to communicate, you plan it or arrange it. And what do you arrange and plan? Your components, words and pictures. Both words and pictures you arrange in such a way that becomes easy to comprehend by the viewer or the reader. That's all in my today's lectures. Next time I will elaborate all these things in details.
With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for giving us such a resourceful lecture. I hope that all the students who might have watched this particular lecture would be benefited from this particular lecture. And dear friends, if you have any queries or if you want to give your feedback, you can mail us at info.cec@nic.in. And from tomorrow, tomorrow we would be continuing from where we left today, that is the layout portion, while discussing the various components of the graphics. Till then, we say you goodbye, and we'll be meeting you tomorrow with Professor N.N. Sarkar visiting our studio once again. Tune to us at 11:30 to 12:30. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.